Hey everyone, this is Kieran from MSK Physio, and today's exercise is going to be looking at building a little bit of side flexion ability of the head on the neck, so the ability for the head to go sideways, and we've got a couple muscles of interest there, but if you feel like it's a little bit hard for you to go sideways, it might be that head on the neck, or it might be a neck on neck issue. So give a go of this exercise and see if it helps, and if it doesn't, we've got some others that look at some of the other deficit potentials. Really useful and a necessary capacity to have. So when you're thinking about side flexion of the head on the neck, there's a few muscles that have that potential. The sternocleidomastoid is going to be one of the main ones. That's this big guy here. We've also got rectus capitis lateralis, a very small muscle which basically connects the very top spinal segments to our head and closes down this space here. When we're talking about side flexion of the head on the neck, it's a very small range, and so really to begin with, we're just considering the very top spinal segments, but we're not truly isolating different muscles, we're just trying to bias certain muscles. And so for this one, we're going to be focusing a bit more on the SCM, or the sternocleidomastoid's contribution, and we're actually going to bring a bit of a rotation component into it as well. So it becomes kind of a dual exercise where we're focusing on its rotation ability with an emphasis more on the side flexion ability. So what we're going to do to start with, and just remember that this is a bit of more of an advanced exercise, I'm going to turn my head to the right to use my left SCM. So I'm not thinking about pure side flexion of going sideways with my head this way. It's not that that wouldn't do side flexion, it's just that I want to bias the SCM, and one of the other jobs that the SCM can do is rotation. So if I put it short in a couple of its planes, then I'll bias that movement, and we'll see that SCM pop out nicely. So the left SCM is going to turn the head to the right, and the right SCM is going to turn the head to the left. So I turn my head to the right, going to get this left SCM, and then what I'm trying to do is this spot behind my ear, this bone over here, and that's where the SCM attaches to, along with some other spots along this nuchal line, or this ridge through here, is I'm trying to bring this to its other end point, which is this clavicle or sternal end. So these two spots, if I give you this finger as an option, so where my collarbone comes in and meets my sternum, and just behind my ear, and I'm trying to bring these two spots together. And then as I come down, keep looking to the right, and going up and down, up. And we can see this muscle here popping out. Now, if I did just pure side flexion, it's going to kick in as well, but like I said, because I've added that rotation, now it just has to get short in a few of its planes. We've got one last thing to consider, in that muscle also does extension of the occiput. So on top of the top of the spine, so it creates this movement. So if I add that in as well, look up, so I'm looking this way, and then I turn my head to the right, and then I'm going to try and bring that mastoid process, or the spot behind the ear, over to this clavicle again, and now it really has to work hard. Okay, to show you guys this way, so I'm turning my head to the left, means my right SCM's engaged. I'm going to look up at the clock over here that I can see, means that I'm kicking in that upper proximal portion, so it's having to shorten, and then I'm having to bring this mastoid process over to the sternal end, or the clavicular end here. And so I'm coming up, down, I'm trying not to bring my chin down when I go, keeping my chin forward. Cool, so nice little exercise. Can be very challenging if this muscle has strength deficits or endurance deficits. The way with a lot of these neck muscles is that you're just wanting to consider, can I do that thing with my neck and my head? So, a lot of these muscles aren't challenged like this regularly throughout the day because we have an axial load going through. We're not working against gravity. And then you're not really seeing large amounts of strength needed unless you're in sports or specific activities that require it. Say for example, race car drivers, they have to deal with a lot of perturbations, or for someone that has like a helmet in their job or a helmet in their sport, or maybe someone does like BJJ, those are different requirements on their neck, and they probably require, you know, more robust neck muscles that can withstand a lot more impact, or they have more power and they can last longer. So for the general pop, you know, you don't need to get into advanced levels of this type of stuff, but you want to be able to reclaim at least that motion so that you've got capacity there. Like I said, when we're upright and walking around, it's more of an axial load. So it's a bit of a different sort of neck strength requirement throughout the day as far as endurance goes. But being able to regain these motions on the ground will translate nicely into upright positions. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.